Picture this. A film crew shows up on a military base.
Who the devil are all these people?
Cameras rolling, lights blazing, and stars posing dramatically in front of cardboard rockets.
Everything's set, Ed.
Yeah, great.
But instead of cheers and cooperation, they're met with blaring bugles and the ever-watchful eye of a no-nonsense commanding officer.
That tune you're playing kinda lingers, doesn't it?
You like it? Oh, I'm so glad.
Welcome to the hilarious world of Orders Are Orders, a 1955 British comedy that throws movie-making madness straight into the regimental routine of the army.
That does it. Another 2 minutes we'd have had that scene in the can.
5 minutes ago if you hadn't snarled at the colonel.
And, predictably, all hell breaks loose.
I've got 2 men outside, sir, in fancy dress. I'll put them on a chart, sir.
If you love classic British comedy, this one's a goldmine.
Hey, Ed! Ed!
Later, baby, later.
Featuring a cast absolutely bursting with iconic names: Peter Sellers, Sid James, Tony Hancock. It's a snapshot of post-war British cinema at its most chaotic, most charming, and, frankly, most ridiculous.
This, as you will gather, sir, is Mr. Wagamar.
How are you, Fred?
Fred?
Well, for the time being, Colonel, eh, Fred?
Let's dive in. So, what's the story?
All right, now, come on, places, everybody.
Well, it's simple, but the beauty's in the absurdity.
I find a great lack of understanding among my fellow officers.
A film production company rolls into town with grand plans to shoot a flashy new sci-fi movie. The only catch? They decide to set up camp at a perfectly ordered British Army barracks, not just for convenience.
Mr. Wagamar, you're going much too fast. Surely you realise there are rules and regulations governing this sort of thing.
They're planning to use the soldiers as background extras. Naturally, this idea doesn't go down well with Colonel Bellamy, the uptight commanding officer played brilliantly by Raymond Huntley.
Dare I tell him, Ed?
Take a chance, honey, take a chance.
I thought you were some big new movie star.
Bellamy is all about discipline, tradition, and, let's face it, a good moustache.
Shall we say, wheels within wheels.
Oh, I get you, Colonel.
Opposing him is the unshakable, irrepressible Ed Wagamire,
What's this?
His life story.
Life story. Did you get anything on him like I told you?
the loud American film producer, played with absolute gusto by none other than Sid James.
All right, now, come on, places, everybody. Scene 1, 2, 1.
Yes, Sid James, years before he became a carry-on legend.
Oh, wait! I got it. Look, you boys are Martians.
Here, he's a cigar-chomping whirlwind of Hollywood swagger, doing his best to bribe, charm, or bulldoze his way through military red tape.
Come on, load up. Come on, let's go.
And if Sid James brings the noise, then Peter Sellers, appearing here in one of his earliest film roles, brings the eccentricity.
Did. What are we going to do now? Joanne will turn him down for good and you and me will both cop it.
He plays Private Goffin. He's quirky and already showing flashes of the comic genius that would later define characters like Inspector Clouseau and Dr. Strangelove.
When would it be convenient to settle?
Settle?
Yeah, for the use of the troops as arranged.
Then there's Tony Hancock as Lieutenant Cartwright, the hapless, overworked bandmaster who's stuck in the middle of this culture clash.
Shall I start now?
No, never.
Right.
Hancock's dry delivery is perfectly suited to his character's constant confusion. Caught between trumpet solos and demands from the film crew for more dramatic marching,
Lieutenant Cartwright, Director of Music.
Well, perhaps you're trying to help, but that music's no good.
the cast is enormous, and that's part of the fun. There's Brian Reese as the ever-diplomatic Captain Harper,
If they were in dress, it would be a dress rehearsal. If they weren't, it wouldn't.
trying to keep the peace.
He wants to take some shots of the troops at work and that sort of thing to include in his film.
Margot Graham as the glamorous Wanda Sinclair, whose arrival sends hearts and tempers soaring.
Take it easy on this one Marine rescuing a British regiment.
And Clive Morton as General Sir Cuthbert Graham Fox,
You say you were pressed into the service of this film company?
who shows up just in time to make everything even more complicated.
I understood this was to be a film about the British Army.
Well, give us a break. We gotta sell the picture on the stage too.
You've also got June Thorburn and Maureen Swanson as the younger romantic interest,
Miss Delamere and I are engaged, sir.
adding a bit of heart to the chaos.
John, you're perfectly sweet to me. I knew I could rely on you.
Plus scene stealers like Bill Fraser as Private Slee, Donald Pleasance as Lance Corporal Martin,
I read about him, sir. You just point it at a person and he becomes hypnotised.
and Eric Sykes as the bumbling Private Waterhouse. Even David Lodge shows up, uncredited but unmistakable to fans of mid-century British comedy. Now, if you're thinking this story sounds a little too outrageous to be true, you're right, but it was actually based on a successful stage play. Orders Are Orders was adapted from Orders Is Orders,
I don't care whether you got a 12-seater flying saucer outside. Orders is orders.
a play written by Ian Hay and Anthony Armstrong. The original stage production had already found success,
Be our credits. Yeah. We'll call it The Last Ditch.
and the film version doubled down on the absurdity with a screenplay that leaned into slapstick, wordplay, and military satire.
Morning, Mr. George. Who's that with you there? Him? Oh, just an extra. All right, on you go.
Filming took place primarily at Beaconsfield Studios, with some exterior shots giving us a lovely view of the English countryside, used here to represent the fictional barracks and surrounding chaos.
Is there any more of this stuff, Ledger?
Oh, masses and masses of it, sir.
It's classic mid-50s British filmmaking, crisp, black and white photography, tightly choreographed set pieces, and the kind of ensemble acting that British studios excelled at during the post-war boom.
Blimey, the Colonel!
One of the joys of Orders Are Orders is watching the contrast between the rigid, rule-bound world of the army and the freewheeling, sometimes pretentious world of cinema.
Fine, Muscle. Here I am, Mr. Wagamire. Everything all right? Everything's fine, Mr. Wagamire.
The production crew brings in odd costumes, cardboard sets, and exaggerated performances, while the army answers with drills, inspections, and shouting.
You mean you got real barracks walls outside? Why doesn't somebody tell me these things?
When these two forces meet, the results are wonderfully ridiculous. And just when you think the film's done throwing curveballs,
I strolled into your gymnasium just now and found myself confronted by the most unusual collection of gymnasts.
the plot ratchets up again. General Graham Fox arrives to inspect the base, not knowing it's already been half taken over by film people. Classic farce, and genuinely funny.
Might I make a suggestion?
Go ahead.
Get rid of this last stand in the barracks idea and try a fresh angle.
So how was it received? Critically, Orders Are Orders wasn't a blockbuster, but it was never meant to be. It came out during a golden age of British comedies that often blended military themes with social satire. Films like Carry On Sergeant and Private's Progress.
So here you are, surrounded by thousands of Martians.
But surely Martians wouldn't attack one lone barracks.
While it didn't make a huge splash at the box office, it found a comfortable place as a light-hearted farce,
It's nice. I'll go check the doors.
enjoyed particularly by fans of the actors involved. It's also worth noting that many of the film's stars, Sellers, Hancock, James, would go on to become towering figures in British comedy.
Anytime. Have a cigar.
Wilfred.
Watching this film today, there's a special charm in seeing them early in their careers, already displaying the timing and character work that would make them legends.
That's that Wagamire. Don't forget, we've got to cut the lolly off him before we do anything else at all.
And while some of the humour feels very of its time, the central idea, two totally incompatible worlds being forced to coexist, is timeless.
Try out this little scene with us, Colonel.
Sounds rather fun.
Whether it's 1955 or today, there's always comedy in people trying to impose order on chaos, or vice versa.
Weren't you a bit tough on the kid, Ed?
Well, you gotta be cruel to be kind.
So, if you're in the mood for some black and white British mischief, Orders Are Orders is worth tracking down.
Hiya. Stick around. Go get lubricated.
It's a breezy watch, packed with talent, and a reminder that even the stiffest military base can be turned upside down by a film crew with a spaceship and a dream. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you've seen this one, or if you're just here for some Peter Sellers trivia. Either way, remember, in war, in film, and in comedy, orders may be orders, but nobody said you have to follow them quietly.
Will you get the hell out of here?
Shut up, Ed. It's the Colonel.